Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about boobs and periods. Video from you guys. I put a poll up on my Instagram and this is what you guys want to hear about, so this is what we're going to be talking about. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I hope you guys enjoy. Firstly, we are going to be talking about boobs. I thought it's something I should definitely address on my YouTube, especially where I'm also a bodybuilder now and I'm doing loads of bulks and cuts. It massively makes a difference on my body. So if you're going through the same thing, you're not alone. Sis is here, sis has been through it. I know how it feels. Growing up, I didn't have like massive boobs. I think I was like a C, but like a good C with cleavage. So like I was happy with it. And then like as I started my weight loss journey from 2016 onwards, my boobs slowly started to come down, but it wasn't until I got deeper into a cutting phase that my boobs really went down. Now, I never really had an issue with it before I started competing. I never really dropped a size. I was always still a C. And then it just got to a point that I was a C, but I was a C with cleavage to a C with no cleavage. And obviously, you got bras and tops that can accentuate and stuff, so it's okay. And also, I kind of like the idea of having smaller boobs as well, because when I'm on holiday, I can, you know, free the nipple, I can enjoy, I can wear tops and stuff, and I don't have to wear a bra, so it just feels nicer. After doing my first season of competing last year, I saw a massive reduction in my boob fat, like a sad amount of reduction. Like I felt like a boy. Like I just would lie down and it just felt like when I was deep into prep and I was like a couple of weeks out from my show last year, it just felt really bony. And I was like, oh my God, this is just sad. Like this is now making me sad because it's not just like I'm a C with no cleavage. Like I think I went down to a B, which again, it's not the worst, you know, it's fine. But I think it was more so instead of the size like winding me up, it was more so how it felt. I just felt really bony like here. And I just remember being so sad about it. But I knew that my boobs built a bit of fat when I was in my bulk previous to that, and also when I finished my last show and I went into my off season from end of last year to this year, early this year, obviously my boobs came back, my cleavage came back, and it wasn't so bad. So I started to realize it's inevitable. I'm gonna lose boobs if I'm gonna lose fat, and I know it can be really, really sad, but this is where you kind of have to sacrifice, you know, that, you know, they say you can either have abs or you can have a bum. It's kind of like that. So it's a bit of a catch-22, and the same works for your boobs really, but just remember that your boobs are fat. They are majority fat. So like if you were to gain or bulk, you will put some fat onto the boobs. If you're to cut, you will lose fat from the boobs. And I know a lot of my clients are pretty sad. Some are actually happy because I think some of my clients have really big breasts to the point where they suffer with back pain and stuff. So they were actually quite happy to have a reduction in their boob size. But I know some clients are really, really upset about it. And it's just one of those things you have to take on your journey. You just have to accept it and think, what do I want more? Do I want to have that dream body or do I want my boobs? And then you can kind of always find a happy medium eventually. You know, I think when I did my prep, I was obviously quite sad when my boobs went down. But then when I went into my bulk and they came back, I was like, oh, okay. So I just need to be kinder to myself and not really stress out because they came back. Like, it's inevitable. I can change it how I want. So for me, there'd be a delicate process between like prep and off season where I'm not too big, but my boobs come back, but I'm also still happy in my physique at that moment. So just find that happy medium for you guys. But it is completely normal to lose your boobs during a prep or during a cut or when you're losing weight. It is normal to get your size back in your boobs if you are bulking or gaining weight. And guys, it's inevitable, okay? It's gonna happen. It's sad, it's not sad, it depends how you look at it. It was sad for me. You kind of just have to take it in your stride and know that it is what it is. It's all part of it. But it's not the worst, guys. You can manipulate your body. You can create the shape that you want. That's what bodybuilding is. It's about building your body and building a physique of your desire. I think personally for me, I've been through like a mix of emotions with it. I know my boobs will come back. So even though it makes me sad temporarily, I know that like my boobs will come back. It's not something that's there forever now and that's it. That's what I've been through with my boobs. Obviously, like, my boobs have like drastically changed during my bodybuilding journey, but you need to remember that you've got to love yourself, for you guys. So no matter what place your body is in, what phase it's in, you need to accept and be happy in the skin that you're in, which means that the boobs you have as well, you need to accept and love them for them. Like, I think it's amazing that you can change them, you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, you can do what you want with them. So you need to learn to like accept them. And I think once you come to terms that you're happy in your skin, you're happy with your boobs, they're part of you, they make you confident, then I think you can deal with these issues so much more positively. And I think you guys just need to remember that you gotta love the skin you're in, no matter what part of your journey you're on, whether you're a newbie starting your journey, whether you're an athlete who's completely lost your boobs because you're prepping, or if you're somewhere in the middle. You just gotta love the skin you're in, and your boobs are part of that. So you gotta kind of accept them and take them for what they are. And the minute that you kind of love them and you accept them and you're confident with them, you're just overall happy in your body. Part 2, periods. Now, this is something that has been highly requested to discuss from my last bodybuilding prep to now. And I didn't want to discuss it until I was a bit more deeper into things, especially being in my second prep now. I feel like I have enough experience to be discussing these things. Now, periods can be a very sensitive topic. Everyone has different types of periods. Everyone has their own experiences with it. Whether you're someone who suffers with health conditions such as PCOS, whether you're someone who is on birth control, whether you're someone who just has natural periods, the body reacts completely different. Throughout my weight loss journey, my periods are fine. For majority of my weight loss journey, I have been on contraception, and I was using the 21-day pill, so like 3 weeks on and 1 week off. That's always worked for me. I actually was happy to be on contraception because I could somewhat like manipulate my periods when I needed to, so I could start my period a little bit early so I wouldn't be on for holidays and stuff like that. So I was quite happy. The pill actually helped in terms of period pains and stuff like that. Well, that's basically why I jumped on it. I had very bad period pains, like very, very bad. I used to have to leave work early because I couldn't cope on my first day. I used to have like cold sweats. I used to have like hot sweats. I used to feel like, I think I've thrown up a couple of times. Like, it used to be quite bad. But once I jumped on the pill, I was much better, pains were less, and overall it was a better experience. So something that happens to a lot of female athletes in bodybuilding is that when you are deep in prep and your food is very low and your expenditure is really high, you can lose your period. It's quite normal in a lot of athletes. It's not the healthiest. Bodybuilding isn't the healthiest sometimes, but it is what it is. And what happens is a majority of your post-show, like coming out of your competition, will be based on a reverse diet where you get your hormones in check so you can get your periods regular again, you get food nice and high and get back to a healthy, sustainable place with your body and your hormones and everything. So for me, on my last show, I was on my contraception still, the same pill that I've been on for the last couple of years. And I had periods throughout my 12-week prep, which was fine. No issues with that. However, I ended up getting my periods like randomly on show day, even though I wasn't due, and I don't know whether that comes down to stress or what, and it was like the worst experience ever, but we move, it happens. The night before I was getting pains and I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, it feels like I'm getting a period. So I was on my period on the first day of my period on my show day. It was annoying because I was probably bloated. I wasn't as lean as I could be. I didn't feel amazing, and then I couldn't even like shower because I had tan on, and you're not allowed to shower when you have your tan on. So it was like not the nicest experience, and it kind of like traumatized me a little bit. So yeah, that was kind of my experience. I then moved coaches straight after my show, and the coach that I joined with told me to actually jump off contraception, just because for me to get deeper into my bodybuilding journey, it was just a smarter move. And she told me that if I wanted to jump on a contraception, I should jump on the IUD because it's a non-hormonal shot. So she just didn't want me on any hormonal contraception, which I think can, if you're a bodybuilding athlete, it can potentially affect you, but do not think that it will affect you as a normal lifestyle journey, okay? Because most of my clients are on contraception and they are absolutely fine with losing weight. I was absolutely fine losing weight, but when you're a bodybuilder, this may be different. So please do not take what I'm doing and think it might be right for you. If you have any questions around that, please just message me and I can guide you along it. But my journey is different to probably most of you guys who are watching. I have actually decided to go natural. I am not on any contraception. I chose not to get the IUD. I just not keen on it. So I am just letting my periods regulate and be normal. So after my show day, when I got that period, I just decided to not jump back onto contraception after. And I think the first month after that, I got my period like 10 to 14 days later than usual, but I did get my period. So it just shows that my hormones weren't too bad. They were fairly regulated. And from there, my periods have been pretty decent. I have been getting them every month since. Give or take, it's not always on time. I think 1 or 2 months ago, it was about 6 days late, which is frustrating because before I used to know exactly when I was going to be due on, and now it's kind of like a waiting game. And now that I am 9 weeks out from show, I just have to see what happens to my body. I don't have any control over it. But you need to remember, even if you're on contraception, like the 21-day pill, sometimes that's not a real period in itself, potentially. So I may have had the bleeding last prep, like as a period, but it may not have been a natural one. So we're just gonna have to see this prep. I am actually like 4 days late, so it's a bit annoying, and it does affect my weigh-ins, and my weigh-ins can affect my prep. So it is a bit stressful for me now, but I just kind of have to take it as it comes and do the best I can. Your period can be late or early, give or take a couple of days. It's not always going to be bang on time, and many factors can affect your period, such as stress and things like that. So you just have to take that into consideration. But that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know how my body's going to respond, because this prep is a much longer prep. This prep is just over 5 months, whereas last year it was only 3 months. So as a bodybuilder, like, my journey is different to those of my clients. What I put myself through as a bodybuilder is not what my clients are expected to go through. So for me, my discipline is very deep, that I won't eat off plan even if I got cravings. If I'm stupidly hungry, I will choose to nap or drink water or find other ways to deal with the hunger. I will not eat off plan at all. Ideally, I will push through sessions. It's very rare if I was to skip a session due to my period, like very rare. So for me personally, I powered through it because my discipline is very deep, very strong at this point on prep. I cannot let anything come in the way. However, someone else's journey is different to my journey. My clients' journeys are different to my journey. So for a lot of my clients, I always tell them we need to listen to their body. We need to understand their body. For some people, you may find that the cravings are more of a mental thing than an actual physical thing. Hunger is higher, but you can potentially ignore it and stay strong. Or other times you may need to give in. You may need to have a handful of berries or a rice cake or something to kind of satisfy that craving. And I think what I try to teach my clients is about listening to your body. So if you think you can power through, training during a time of month, go for it, try it. What's the harm? A lot of my clients used to ignore training during their period, and after discussing with them and understanding their bodies better, we have found that actually they can train on their periods. Not that it's forced, but because it's more of a mental game than physical sometimes. You need to work with a coach who understands your body to kind of guide you. If you really can't train, there's no harm in going to the gym, trying a couple exercises and realizing, I feel really weak, I feel like I'm going to faint and I can't. And it's about understanding everyone's journey is different, and it's about pushing yourself but knowing your limits as well. And that's what I work on with my clients, to understand their bodies better. And overall, it is about that discipline over motivation. It's that discipline of knowing, okay, I don't feel like training, I can't be arsed, I'm in pain, I'm hungry, I don't want to go to the gym, but I could probably go and I could still do a 50-60% intense session. I can still power through, and I know I'm going to feel better once I finish that session. So it's about building that discipline to at least push yourself and see what you can achieve, because you may think mentally you can't, but the body can achieve what the mind believes. So like, if you push yourself and you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to try, I'm not going to force myself, but I'm going to try my best. You may get through the whole session and think, shit, like I can do this, like I'm good, like I'm really proud of myself. Or you may get halfway through and think, I feel really sick, I've done the best I can and I'm proud of that. But discipline is what's going to push you that level further. During times like your period, which comes every month, your motivation is going to be super low. No one's going to be motivated 24/7. And your period is something that, with a lot of women, it can make them regress and go 2 steps backwards. But if you're smart, if your discipline is strong and you know your body and you understand your body, you can still progress throughout your period, which means you're going to progress month on month so much more further than someone who eats off plan, doesn't train every single month during their period. Most times, it's our mind telling us we can't do something rather than our body. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and it gives you a bit more of an insight into my own personal journey with both topics, but also some good tips and tricks for you guys to bear in mind. I hope you've learned something from this video. I hope it's helped you in some way. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, drop a comment down below what other topics you want me to cover, and I will get that done for you.